Welcome to In Good Company, where relationships drive results, with your host, Lisa Kilrea. In each episode, we explore how great leaders build trust, inspire teams, and turn meaningful connections into real success.
Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending on where you're joining from. I'm excited to welcome you to the kickoff of WSI's AI Webinars for Manufacturers series. Quick intro of myself. I'm Lisa Kilrea, President, Managing Partner of WSI eResults. I've been the owner of my WSI AI and digital marketing agency for approximately 15 years, and I look forward to spending the next 45 minutes with you. I also have Tracy Woods, my Vanna White of the day, who will be helping with any technical issues and will be keeping track of questions as they come through. Thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedules to be here. We have a lot to cover, especially since this is the first session in the series. Before we jump into our content, I do have a few admin items I'd like to cover. We are recording this webinar and we'll send the link to everyone who registered. At the end, I'll save a few minutes for Q&A. Feel free to send those questions through via chat, though, throughout the webinar as you think of them. In terms of our agenda for today, I'll begin with a quick intro to WSI, then walk through what AI is and why it matters to your business with some real-world use cases. We'll wrap up by introducing the AI Readiness Assessment and how it can help you take next steps. With that, let's get this webinar show on the road. As I mentioned, today is the first of 3 webinars in our series. Just to recap, the next sessions will take place on October 8th and October 22nd. Each session will build off the previous session's content, with the final session culminating in detailed discussion on building an AI roadmap. If you find today's session helpful, I highly encourage you to share the registration link with colleagues or team members who might benefit from joining the rest of the series. Brief intro of who WSI is. We are a global digital marketing and technology network with 30 years of experience helping businesses succeed online. As I mentioned, I'm the president and owner of WSI eResults, specializing in AI and digital marketing for B2B companies in the manufacturing and distribution space. I'm physically located in Chicago, and our team serves clients who operate nationwide and internationally. With both my own team and the strength of WSI Global Network, we can deliver expertise across every area of AI and digital marketing, something very few agencies can match. Allow me a moment to brag. Just last week, I was informed that WSI was awarded the honor of 2025 Agency of the Year by the Web Marketing Association. What's so exciting is that this marks the 3rd time in 6 years we received this award, an achievement I believe reflects the talent of our network, the strength of our partnerships, and the strategic mindset behind everything we deliver. Since this webinar series is focused on AI, I'd like to introduce our AI leadership team, led by Robert Mitchell, our Chief AI Officer. Along with Robert, myself, Kundan, and Seamus, we're supported by a strong group of AI development specialists. At the same time, I don't want to overlook our digital marketing team. They bring deep expertise in SEO, paid advertising, content writing, web development, and hands-on experience with just about every major technology platform, which few agencies can claim. Enough about us. Let's jump into all things AI. To set the stage, I want to take a quick look back, because where we've come from helps us understand where we are now and where we're going. Some of you may remember the dot-com bust of the early 2000s. When I started in this business in 2010, I was still meeting small and mid-sized business owners who were skeptical about the internet. Some even wondered if websites would last or if the internet itself might disappear. Clearly, that did not happen. And just like the internet back then, AI today is moving fast. It's disruptive and it's here to stay. This next slide comes from a 1995 article in Newsweek written by a gentleman named Cliff Stoll. an American astronomer, author, and teacher. In it, he raised doubts about whether the internet would ever be useful or beneficial to society. He predicted that e-commerce would never work because people would want personal contact and secure payments were impossible. He also wrote that no online database would replace your daily newspaper. Of course, history proved him wrong. Just like people once doubted the internet, today there's skepticism around AI. But if history's taught us anything, it's that these disruptive technologies don't fade away. They reshape how we live and work, and that's exactly what we're starting to see with AI. Now, to put this in perspective, just 2 years before Google was founded, otherwise known as 2BG, this is how most of us were still finding businesses, the yellow pages. It's a good reminder of how quickly things can change. What seemed permanent, phone books, printed directories, even newspapers, was quickly replaced by search engines and digital platforms. Additionally, this version of the Yellow Book listed website pages back then. There were no websites. They were simply web pages. And we're at that same kind of turning point today with AI. Now, let's fast forward to the early 2020s, or specifically 2022. The world changed approximately 2.5 years ago when ChatGPT was introduced on November 20th, 2022. And the speed at which ChatGPT was adopted is mind-boggling. This chart shows how long it took different platforms to reach 1 million users. Netflix took about 3.5 years. Airbnb took 2.5 years. Even Facebook needed 10 months. Then, look at ChatGPT at the bottom of the chart. It hit 1 million users in just 5 days. That's an unprecedented adoption rate. It tells us two things. First, that the demand and curiosity around AI is unlike anything we've seen before. And second, that this technology is moving faster into mainstream use than earlier digital innovations. For manufacturers, that speed matters because it means AI isn't something that will slowly creep into your business over a decade. It's already here, and your competitors may already be experimenting with it. These next two quotes really highlight the scale of what's happening with AI. Sundar Pichai, the CEO of Google, has said that AI will have a bigger impact on humanity than fire, electricity, or the internet. In other words, we're not talking about another tool. We're talking about a foundational shift in how the world works. And Bill Gates has called AI one of the most revolutionary technologies he's seen in his lifetime, right up there with the personal computer. Coming from someone who lived through and shaped the PC era, that tells you just how transformational this is expected to be. The point is, when leaders at the center of the technology world are describing AI in these terms, we have to pay attention. Let's talk about the evolution of ChatGPT. 3 months after the initial version was launched in November of 2022, just 2.5 years ago, ChatGPT 4 was released. And in just 3.5 months, it was considered 10 times more powerful than the version before it. One of the clearest examples of this leap forward is in professional testing. On the bar exam, for example, the earlier model of ChatGPT scored in the bottom 10%. With ChatGPT, it jumped to the top 10%. And ChatGPT 5 was launched just last month in August of 2025 with significant improvements in speed, accuracy, coding, and reasoning capabilities. That kind of improvement in such a short time frame is unprecedented. And it demonstrates why AI is advancing faster than any technology we've seen before, and why businesses can't afford to wait and see. The pace of progress measured is in months, not years. Here's another way to put AI's progress into perspective. Today's ChatGPT is estimated to have an IQ of about 155. That's essentially on par with some of the brightest minds in history. For comparison, Albert Einstein is often placed around 160. Now, What's really striking is the pace of improvement. Mo Gaudat, the former chief business officer at Google X, has suggested that if this trajectory continues, we could see AI models reaching IQ levels of 1,600 within the next year, which is 10 times Einstein's IQ. Now, of course, IQ is not a perfect measure for machines the way it is for humans, but it's a useful way to visualize just how rapidly this technology is advancing. The point is, AI has already crossed into human-level intelligence in some areas, and it's getting exponentially stronger. What does this mean for your business? For the first time in history, we can actually scale knowledge work, not just physical labor. Think about that for a moment. It's like suddenly being handed a team of highly capable college graduates who are ready to help for free. You'd have an engineering grad, a data scientist, content writers, designers, an MBA, even a medical student if you needed it. Of course, AI isn't a perfect replacement for people, but the point is, these tools can perform knowledge tasks at scale instantly and around the clock. The question for every business becomes, how could you use that kind of capability? Let's take a step back and look at the history of AI, not the history of technology or the history of the world, but the history of AI. The point of this slide is that AI isn't new. It's been around since the 1950s. In the 2010s, deep learning unlocked huge advances like AlphaGo, image recognition, and voice assistance. And now in the 2020s, generative AI, like ChatGPT and AI copilots, has taken center stage, making AI practical, scalable, and accessible for businesses of every size. If you look at each of the decades in this chart, there's something notable that happened in the world of AI. It just was not mainstream until 2022. As an interesting and fun side note, some of you may ask, what is AlphaGo? AlphaGo is an artificial intelligence program developed by Google DeepMind. It was designed to play the board game Go, which is far more complex than chess. There actually are more possible moves in Go than atoms in the universe. Then in 2016, AlphaGo became famous when it defeated one of the world's top Go champions, something many experts thought was at least a decade away. The key takeaway or point here is that after decades of hype and setbacks, AI has reached a tipping point. Today, it's ready to deliver real business results. AI has moved from theory in the 1950s to everyday business impact today. Next, let's look at where manufacturers can place themselves on the AI spectrum, from basic tools to advanced copilots. It's important to recognize that AI just isn't one thing or a one and done. It exists on a broad spectrum of applications for manufacturers. On the far left, you'll see examples of AI already built into the platforms you may use every day. These companies have quietly been embedding AI for years to make their software smarter. Things like live chat, predictive text, or ERP recommendations. On the far right, we see the most advanced stage, AI agents and copilots. These tools don't just enhance a single platform, they actively work across systems, guiding decisions and even automating workflows. Between these two ends of the spectrum are three additional stages, from semi-custom solutions that automate repetitive tasks, to AI-powered analytics that give leaders predictive insights, to custom automation that tackles complex areas like accounting, HR, or supply chain. In session 2 on October 8th, I'll walk you through each of these 5 stages with practical examples of how manufacturers and distributors can take advantage of them today. Now, on this slide, if we zoom out, those 5 stages on the AI spectrum that we just spoke about, they can really be grouped into 3 main buckets: existing tools, semi to fully custom solutions, and copilots. This simplifies the picture, making it easier to identify where your company is today and where you might want to go next. Before I go too far, I want to take a few seconds to define the term copilot. In the context of how I'm using the term today, it has nothing to do with the brand Microsoft Copilot, and it's not about assisting a pilot flying a plane. When we talk about AI copilots, we mean something far more powerful than a chatbot or digital assistant. Copilots act as true digital partners. They understand context, connect across systems, and take proactive actions like drafting reports, creating schedules, or flagging risks. For example, a finance copilot can project cash flow and spot anomalies. An operations copilot can optimize schedules. A sales copilot can draft proposals, and an HR copilot can screen resumes. The key takeaway is this: copilots don't just provide answers. They can actively help run your business. 2 slides ago, we looked at AI in 3 broad buckets, from basic tools to custom solutions to copilots. And we just defined what a copilot is. It's not just about answering questions. It's a digital partner that connects across systems and takes proactive action. This maturity chart shows how companies typically progress on their AI journey. Many companies start their AI journey with reactive assistance, answering questions or automating simple tasks. As they advance, they move into proactive copilots, AI that predicts, guides, and connects across the business. And over time, they reach autonomous systems that can self-adjust operations and make decisions in real time. The point is, AI adoption isn't just about picking a tool. It's about moving along this curve. Understanding where you are today helps you plan your next step forward. The question of the day that you're probably asking yourself is, where should you start? When it comes to AI, the first step should always be strategy. Just like random acts of marketing don't produce long-term results, random acts of AI won't either. You need a clear plan. That starts with identifying your biggest opportunities and prioritizing them by cost and benefit. From there, the best approach is to start small. Focus on quick wins that prove efficiency gains and ROI. Once those are in place, measure results, celebrate the wins, and build momentum by moving down the list of opportunities in a structured way. The best way to begin is with our AI Readiness Assessment. It's a 45 to 60-minute discovery conversation where we go deep into one area of your business. For example, marketing and sales. We ask questions across 5 topic categories. The output is a tailored report with recommendations, ROI calculations, and a clear roadmap to help you prioritize and implement AI initiatives with confidence. Let's talk a bit more about the AI Readiness Assessment, which is the best place to start. To make sure you take a strategy-first approach and not just throw noodles at the wall, WSI strongly recommends beginning with the assessment. And to make this easy, I'd intended to kill 2 birds with 1 stone and show you an AI-generated video that explains the readiness assessment in more detail. However, we've experienced some technical difficulties this morning with sharing the audio of the video through the Zoom platform. So Tracy will need to attach the video in the follow-up email with the recording link that everyone will get after this session. By the way, when you do watch the video, AI tip of the day. This video was generated by AI with the Synthesia tool in about 5 minutes. Very easy. Moving on without the actual video. AI video capabilities for video production are getting better every day. So many simple applications can be explained via an AI-generated video, such as the one you will receive. Let's talk for a minute about what an AI assessment would entail. Typically, we'll ask you to come prepared for the readiness call. That might mean doing a little bit of research ahead of time or pulling in a colleague if they're closer to the details we'll be discussing. Then we'll guide you through 5 main areas. First, we'll talk a little bit about your business and the context of it. What do you do? Who do you serve? Second, your current level of AI adoption and familiarity will be discussed. Then we'll move on to how your marketing and sales operations and staffing organization are set up, with a later discussion about lead generation, sales processes, and finally customer engagement and personalization. This gives us a clear, well-rounded view of where AI can add the most value for your company in that functional area of marketing and sales operations, and provides us the info we need to prepare an initial recommendation or roadmap for you, complete with options, ROI calculations, and cost-benefit analysis. An important question to ask yourself is, why is AI relevant right now? Here's why we recommend starting with the AI Readiness Assessment sooner rather than later. AI is driving 5 to 10 times ROI for small and mid-sized manufacturers. And the beauty of it is that it's affordable. It scales with your business, and you don't need a big in-house tech team to take advantage of it. Most importantly, AI can directly help you tackle the challenges manufacturers are feeling every day: labor shortages, rising inflation, intense global competition. That's why this is such a timely opportunity. The companies that start exploring AI now are going to have a serious competitive advantage. Here's where AI gets really practical. It's not just about cool technology. It's about dollars and cents and how AI can help manufacturers offset rising costs. Manufacturers are being hit with rising costs from every angle: tariffs, labor shortages, supply chain pressures. The good news is AI can help identify cost savings and efficiency gains that directly offset those challenges. For example, automating quoting and admin tasks reduces labor costs. Predicting churn helps you keep more revenue instead of losing customers. Smarter inventory planning lowers waste and carrying costs. And streamlining hiring and training saves money while getting people productive faster. Most importantly, the AI Readiness Assessment helps you uncover which of these opportunities are the biggest in your business, so you can prioritize the ones that will make the biggest dent in offsetting tariff and cost pressures. Now, the real question is your company AI ready? There's really only a few simple questions that need to be asked to determine your readiness. 1, do you have access to data? 2, are you and/or the leadership team open to automation? 3, and are you willing to pilot and test? Let's talk about key takeaways for today's session. We've gone through a lot of information today, but the key takeaways are very simple. 1, AI is affordable and relevant to SMBs. 2, start with small wins that prove ROI. 3, you don't need a big IT team. 4, there's a clear path to adoption. As we wrap up, I'd like to go through a few real live examples of AI use cases, what we did and what the AI solution produced. Please note that client names for 2 of the 3 examples are not able to be shared due to NDAs we've signed. Our first AI case study is from Jana King, a large commercial cleaning company. Their accounting team was struggling with excessive manual data transfers from legacy systems. Billing cycles that should have been fast were dragging on for 2 weeks, which in turn delayed cash flow and strained operations. The solution we implemented was a semi-automated export-import workflow that dramatically cut down invoicing time. The results were significant: 200 hours saved per month in manual work. This was an 84% reduction in the billing cycle, taking the process from 2 weeks down to just 2 hours, and the complete elimination of manual data entry. As our CFO put it, what used to be a daunting 2-week process now takes only a couple of hours, freeing up the team and delivering real cost savings. This is a great example of how AI and automation aren't abstract ideas. They solve very real, very costly problems that manufacturers and service companies face every day. Here's another strong example, this time from a waste management company that needed localized SEO content at scale. Their challenge was limited marketing capacity and very manual content creation processes. They needed to launch over 1,000 SEO optimized pages across 125 different locations. But with traditional methods, it would have taken many months. The solution was to deploy an AI-powered content generation process. This allowed us to create fast, SEO-optimized, brand-compliant pages that maintained quality and consistency across all locations. The results were outstanding. Over 600 hours saved in marketing resources, which produced a 3,900% ROI compared to traditional copywriting methods. And the entire project, which normally would have taken many months, was completed in just 16 business days. As their marketing director put it, the AI-powered solution allowed them to refresh their website in record time, saving hundreds of hours while ensuring high-quality content consistency across all locations. Our third and last AI use case example is from a financial services company and was all about training their staff on low-hanging fruit opportunities. This particular Midwest community bank had access to powerful AI tools like ChatGPT and Microsoft Copilot, but the challenge was that staff didn't know how to use them effectively in their day-to-day work. In other words, they had the tools, but not the skills. The solution we delivered was structured AI training. We equipped their teams with practical, hands-on skills so they could confidently leverage AI tools for tasks like scripting, data analysis, and reporting. The results were impressive. A 25% reduction in time spent on SQL and Python scripting. Staff gained back the equivalent of 1 full day per week in productivity, and they achieved improved accuracy and speed in reporting. As their data intelligence team shared, they saw a big improvement in how quickly they could generate and refine SQL queries, making reporting far more efficient. The marketing director also emphasized that some tasks would never have even been attempted without AI, and now they're being accomplished regularly. This case highlights how the right training can transform AI from being a buzzword into a true productivity driver. So now for the good news. I'm offering a parting gift or favor to all of you for attending today's session. I'm offering 10 free AI assessments. Please reply to me in chat or email me at Kilrea, K-I-L-R-E-A, at WSI eResults.com. The first 10 who respond, I will follow up with you and schedule our discovery call. Please be sure to include your name, email, and phone number in your DM or email to me. Just to add more info about what you will get, the report has a value of $1,500 and will be approximately 35 pages in length with customized recommendations, with the goal being to help you start proving AI implementation ROI within 30 to 60 days. I hope you enjoyed today's session and found some new tidbits of value and better understand the magnitude of what the AI revolution can offer you and your manufacturing company in terms of efficiencies and cost savings. It's been a pleasure spending the last 30 minutes or so together. I look forward to seeing you again at session 2 on October 8th. Now I will open up the rest of our time to questions. Thanks, Tracy, for filtering through the questions as they came through and sending them to me. Let me see how many I can get through in the next 10 or 12 minutes. Let's start with, this is a good question. After the initial discovery call for the AI Readiness Assessment, how long does it usually take to get the report? In most cases, you'll receive the report within 1 to 2 weeks of completing the discovery call. The timing, it can vary slightly depending on scheduling additional phone calls or conversations to gather any information that we might not have gotten from your team. But our goal is always to deliver insights quickly so you can begin evaluating opportunities right away. How much does it cost to implement AI solutions? That's another really good question that doesn't have a clear-cut question. Think back to the AI spectrum that we went through during this session. There was a chart that showed 5 different buckets, with the far left being more simplistic solutions or off-the-shelf platforms, all the way to the far right with custom AI copilots. It really depends on where you fall on that spectrum in terms of what the cost will be. On the low end, if you're looking at off-the-shelf solution, it could be $50 to $100 a month to get that subscription. On the far end with custom copilots, that could be $5,000 plus to develop that. And then in between there, on the lower end of the cost is, customized AI training, which could be in the low thousands and on up, depending on the complexity of the training, the number of people in training, and how long it lasts. Really, the point is the cost varies, but the key is matching the investment to the business value that you want to unlock. Next question. What's a good first AI project for a mid-sized manufacturer with limited resources? Well, you've probably heard me say this more than a few times today. Pick something small, repeatable, and measurable. For example, speeding up quote generation, forecasting demand from the last couple of years' sales data, or improving how you follow up with leads. These are good because you probably already have that data and you can see the results pretty quickly. Success for a first project usually means it can be done fast in less than 3 months, it's affordable, and it's measurable. So when you think about the first opportunity, think of it in those 3 criteria. Okay, moving on to our last question. We're nervous about data quality. Do we need a full data set before we can start? No, not at all. You don't need perfect data, you just need the right data for the project at hand. For a pilot, you can start small. Pull only the necessary data that you need for that specific project, like sales orders, inventory, or service logs. Then do a quality check of the data. Make sure that there are no major missing pieces of information that we'll need, or there's not a lot of duplication. Spend a little bit of time cleaning up the data. The important thing is to move forward, show results, and improve the data as you go along. Once you prove value, then it makes sense to invest in stronger pipelines and getting more and better data. That wraps up our Q&A and session 1 of our webinar series, AI for Manufacturers. Thank you again very much for attending, and we look forward to seeing you again on October 8th. Have a great rest of the day.
Thanks for listening to In Good Company, where relationships drive results, with Lisa Kilrea. Be sure to follow or subscribe so you never miss an episode. Until next time, stay connected and keep building relationships that drive results.